Hey guys, Mechanite here, and as you know, I like to have my own original characters in the story worked into my videos, even if they're about adapting pop culture characters. I do that in today's episode, so warning straight off the bat, it's going to focus a lot more on my original lore. But yeah, you've probably noticed in my Demon episodes especially, the characters and the world building gets a lot of focus. Hopefully in the near future I should be making some stories that are purely original, but that's not going to come for a while. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy Pokemon as Zombies.
So, I hear you've been having trouble adjusting to the DUSD. Lay it on me, kid. What's troubling you?
What's troubling me? Where do I even start? On my first day here, I had to study those decaying beasts. At least, I think it was my first day here. Time feels so different here, and now I have to study even more.
Whoa, calm down there, dude. This is gonna sound awful, but you're here whether you like it or not. Why not make the most of it?
What do you mean, make the most of it?
Make the most of it. Besides, where are my manners? Welcome to the DUSD. It's Miles, by the way. You may recognize me from my recent expedition studying folklore creatures.
It's Montu. What does DUSD mean?
DUSD stands for Dimensional Unified Science Developers. Our group of researchers, once multiverse traveling when alive, ventured the multiverse attempting to build our theory on dimensional unified science, a set of scientific laws that exist across all dimensions. Hence, our journey to this world.
Right, what is this dimension exactly?
Once a peaceful world with elemental creatures named Pokemon, this world recently gained a virus similar to that you studied previously, causing said Pokemon to decay and become ravenous, spreading the infection amongst themselves. One of the first type of Pokemon infected was Starter Pokemon, a type of Pokemon extremely common among trainers. Unfortunately, this just meant it would spread even faster and further up the food chain.
Wait, what was that thing you said earlier? Multiverse traveling when alive. Does that mean that I'm dead? And if that's the case, why can't I remember anything from when I was alive?
Right, I was wondering why you weren't freaking out more about that. You've just reminded me why I, specifically, was chosen to help you settle in. You see, Montu, me and you are something known as Gamma Phantoms.
So we are dead?
Sure are. You see, there are 3 types of researchers here in the DUSD. Beta Phantoms, those who retain all their memories. Gamma Phantoms, those who retain none of their memories. And Alpha Phantoms, those who retain fictional memories.
So, are we in heaven? Because so far it's felt a lot more like hell.
Not quite. As I said, this is an afterlife specifically for those who travel the multiverse, especially those with research instincts. Now, we can travel for eternity, acting as intangible ghosts in all dimensions we enter. I will say I know a lot more about how those people are chosen than you, but I'm not in a position to disclose that information. So, how about we focus on what we were actually sent here to research?
I don't know, you probably understand that I'm not exactly eager to study any more flesh-eating abominations after what happened last time, but I guess I'll just make the most of it.
That's the spirit, kid. This Pokemon is one known as Machamp. It's another species that is only owned by trainers, who are especially active when it comes to training. Such fighting-type Pokemon are thought to be some of the leading causes of the virus's speedy spread. Eventually, the virus spread so far through the ecosystem that it began to infect the second most powerful form of Pokemon in this world, pseudo-legendaries. The specific species we've been tasked with studying today is known as Hydreigon, and its zombified form is one of the most violent when battling.
Yeah, this thing does look pretty vicious, even more so than the other specimens we've studied so far in this dimension.
We've theorized that, at least in this dimension, the more powerful a Pokemon is, the more they're affected by the virus's effects. This specific species went on a rampage in the Unova region it is most commonly found in. Even the most well-trained and obedient Hydreigon belonging to the Elite Four and Champion were unable to fight off the infection.
Wait, so were other species able to resist the virus's effects?
For a while, yes, though no species has ever been known to maintain full consciousness when infected. They can push back the infection, but never avoid it fully.
I'm assuming the species who could maintain control longest were starters, since they often would be well disciplined and weren't overly powerful.
Hey, there you go, kid. There's some prime research instincts there. I'm certain you're on your way to becoming a great researcher. In terms of fighting it off, however, while starters could longer than most, a specific type of Pokemon are often best at maintaining control. Bug types.
Yeah, that makes sense now that I think about it. They're often weaker than most if I remember correctly, and are some of the first Pokemon the trainer would catch. Makes sense that they'd be well disciplined.
Eventually, however, the virus breached the highest rank of Pokemon in this world, the legendary Pokemon. While pseudo-legendaries are incredibly rare and powerful, most legendaries are one of a kind, and many have godlike levels of power.
So out of all the legendaries, how powerful is the specimen we're studying today?
On the weaker side in terms of legendaries, though I do believe specimens plural would be a more fitting description.
Right, I think I see what you mean.
The horse-like creature here is named Glastria, and its rider named Calyrex. Although Calyrex can bond with various mounts, it seems that once both it and Glastria were infected, they have been unable to separate. Now, why don't you have a shot at analysing this specimen? You'll have to eventually. Why not now?
Sure, I guess. It appears as if the Glastria's main use is its speed. Considering the main decay is around its legs and core. The Calyrex seems static though. Perhaps the virus affected its brain more than the rest of it, but I'm not sure.
Not bad, kid. You'll make a fine researcher one day. Now come on, we have plenty of more specimens to study.